Yes, sir. Here we go. It is Thursday, September 23rd. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards. This is the Bottom Line on Woodward Sports. We have what we believe is a wonderful show for you today. But first, let me say hello to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Braylon Edwards. Bray, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. I'm wearing my golf long sleeve, full zip with a tailor-made hat in honor of Ryder Cup, as well as the rain that we're receiving outside on Woodward. So this is my Ryder Cup rain outfit.
So one of the conversations that Braylon and I had before the show, now I think I look good in person. I mean, I look phenomenal in person. I'm just not sure these clothes transfer to the digital television screen, the computer screen, the iPhone screen, however it is you're watching us. I look rather plump here today, Braylon.
I think you look good. I think the other jobs you work with Fox, I think you're locked into a suit, so you've got that down over the years.
It's like a uniform.
Exactly. You know what you're wearing. You know, I'm going to wear a suit. I'm going to wear a tie. I'm going to figure it out. So you're locked into that mentally. Here, it's a little more freedom. It's a little more, maybe I wear, cashmere. Maybe I wear a short sleeve golf shirt. Maybe I wear a vest jacket over a long sleeve shirt. So you don't know if you look good and you're nervous, but I'm here to tell you, you look good.
I feel good,
That's all that matters,
as does
man.
Tom Mazaway today. Maz, how are you, young man?
I'm all right, fellas. I'm still rocking the shorts, but I got the pullover on top. I got to ditch the shorts pretty soon, though.
I don't
it's
know
chilly
if you do.
out there.
It's supposed to be in the 70s all week.
Okay, good to
It's
hear.
going to pick up the 72,
Good to
73.
hear.
Shorts is a good look.
It'll be
I'll take it. Hey, by the way, congrats on all that Michigan State love. They love you.
I will
That's
tell
one way
you,
to put it.
this is, and we're going to address this at 3 o'clock today or in hour number 2, depending upon if you're not watching us or listening to us live at the moment. Top of hour number 2, we'll address this. But this Barstool MSU video that got like 30,000 views on Instagram and somewhere around 10,000 on Twitter. It is amazing how you can take a clip completely out of context, run with it, and make it true.
Yeah, people are lazy nowadays, and actually people have been lazy for a long time.
How do you do that?
Certain people are more lazy than other people, and Michigan State fan base happens to be one of those individuals. They look for anything to jump on top, especially a guy that claims to be a Michigan guy, which you are in spades. So they took it out of context. They didn't pay attention to it because they didn't want to pay attention to it. They want to look for anything to jump on. So if they do their homework, they see that you're high on Kenneth Walker III. But hey, they put their foot in their mouth. Now it's time for you to take it out.
I will say to the Barstool MSU crowd right off the top, I certainly appreciate the love. I certainly appreciate the platform.
There's no such thing as negative press. 30,000?
We will take all of the eyeballs that we can get. So I say to you, Barstool MSU, not man chill out. Thank you. We'll take it.
Gracias.
But, hey, like I said, we got a big show coming up today. We're going to have Lomas Brown on with us. Lomas, I know this is a guy that you've known for quite some time, your whole life pretty much.
Yeah, Lomas has always been a great guy.
And his name is being talked about now officially as a candidate for the Hall of Fame, and we're going to talk to Lomas about that.
Yeah, it's great to hear. 17 straight seasons starting in the NFL, National Football League. That's quite an accomplishment. 7 back-to-back Pro Bowls, 1 All-Pro, and a Super Bowl. He stacks the deck. He's been there at the beginning when the Lions were bad, and then he got good, and then they were bad, and they were inconsistent. But outside of it, just a great guy. In the community, he's one of those guys. He's one of those pillars. And on a football team, he's one of those guys in the locker room, which I can't wait to ask him about and talk about it. He's a bridger. You need a bridge in the locker room. You need the guy that connects to the old ways. You need the guy that connects to the new ways. And you need the guy that can reach the management, that can reach the coaching staff. And he did all of that. He was able to be, everybody's ear and place information everywhere so that the team could ultimately have success. So just can't wait to talk about him. I love him to death, and he's always provided me with great information and advice and guidance.
And Mass, as Braylon's just talking about now, you're talking about somebody who is as respected a former player for the Detroit Lions as there comes. You want to talk about availability. This guy was available week in and week out over the course of a 17-year career. That alone is something that is hard to do.
You can always depend on the low down from Low Brown. And getting recognition and possibly getting into that Hall of Fame finally. I'm so happy because, let's face it, he was here in the Lion glory days of the 90s when they went to the playoffs as much as any team in the NFL at that point, and, of course, to one NFC championship game. The only NFC championship game since the Super Bowl era.
And Braylon, you talk all the time about, not everybody in the NFL gets a chance to write their own script. Not everybody in the NFL gets to go out on top. This is a guy who pretty much retired after winning a Super Bowl in his final season.
Yeah, that's the way you want to do it. We talked about Peyton and the Sheriff. We talked about Jerome Bettis actually doing it here in Detroit, where he's from with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he was able to do that. Talking about Lomas Brown, he was able to do that as well with the Giants, man. It's just amazing for him to be able to do that, and just amazing to know him, I think, to know him from a kid to going to high school, to going to college, and then going and being in the NFL, and actually almost overlapping. I got drafted in 05, and he was finished in 02, to just maintaining a relationship. And like Maz said, man, you can always expect good things from Lomas. And arguably one of the, if not the most respected Lions player of all time. Like
he very well might be.
Yeah, he very well might be. Like I love Barry, I love Calvin, I love. There's a lot of ones I love.
Herman.
Herman's big brother. Jerry Ball was one of my favorite Lions of all time. But if you're just talking about respect, if you're talking about accountability, if you're talking about a guy, a leader that you can look up to, holds no punches but doesn't judge, I can't name a better guy than Lomas Brown.
There's probably not, and we will talk to Lomas coming up in just about 5 minutes from now, actually, so we're really looking forward to that. A couple of Lions news and notes today. Braylon, wide receiver Terrell Williams went on IR. He had the concussion problems, and he is out for a minimum now, guaranteed 3 weeks. Talking about a unit that is really undermanned and under-talented, if that's even a word. But you get the point, what I'm trying to say. Him going out, your number one receiver, which, many people don't think he's a number one to begin with, but he's the Lions' number one wide receiver, and he's out, so next man up.
This would have bothered me if I would have seen number one things out of T. Williams in the first 2 games. Like if I had seen things that he was doing where he had 85 yards in the first game or 90 in the second, he had a couple touchdowns, but he hasn't done anything in these 2 games. So for me, it's not a big loss. Like but Quintez Cephas has been your number one guy.
He has.
Hawkinson has been the tight end we expected him to be in even more. And then you look at Amon St. Brown, like a guy that can come up and step up for us, getting the ball to DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams out of the backfield. Like that's going to be the bread and butter. And here's another thing that people don't think about. Everybody thinks the team is locked and loaded. What they have is what they will be. I'm living proof of it. I was playing with the Cleveland Browns for 4 weeks in 2009, and all of a sudden there was a phone call and there was some information exchange, and I now was a New York Jet going into, 3 weeks, and then going into week 4. I was a New York Jet. Same thing can happen here where they can make a move before the trade deadline and pick up a wide receiver. You never know what the team has in the wings, what they're working on. So, just stay with what you're doing. Get the ball to DeAndre Swift out of the backfield and run the ball more with them. I think that will help them moving forward with the loss of Williams.
And Williams got knocked out basically on the first pass they threw to him. He got crushed and concussed, so he went in concussion protocol right away. I mean, he was knocked out. He got up, but they went right to the tent and right into the locker room. So that's why we haven't seen much of him. But you got a guy like, I know he's not coming here, but Larry Fitzgerald's out there.
Yeah.
No,
I know he's not coming here, but I just throw it out there.
He's waiting till mid-November.
Yep.
No, and I wasn't trying to diss T. Williams at all.
Sure.
I was just saying, like, the team as a whole, like, we haven't seen a lot of him. So us losing him, it's not a big loss to what we've seen.
Hasn't really translated on the field through 2 games. Yeah. Maz, this is your favorite position of pro football, and that is the kicker. That is the kicker position. Lions in trouble there.
Austin Seibert out on COVID. In comes Ryan Santoso, who they just signed off the practice squad. He used to kick for the Panthers and many other teams. So it looks like Ryan Santoso will be your kicker for this week.
So there you have it. Terrell Williams, IR, Austin Seibert, COVID protocols. It's a mess. The one saving grace, Lamar Jackson didn't practice today. What's going on with him?
He's got a sore hip, and supposedly
I wonder why.
It was from the flip into the end zone on Sunday against the Chiefs.
Yeah, he flipped into the end zone. He's having fun out there, and you can't be mad at him. Obviously, he's hurt. He didn't practice today. It takes away from a little bit of chemistry and a little bit of chance to get better each day. As we say in the NFL, get better, win the day. But, I mean, this is a guy that's the MVP. This guy is a freak of nature as it relates to athletic ability that he has. And he has some passing ability and he gets well. He knows how to hit the open man. So it's not going to hurt them. He's a young guy. He's having fun. So, what the hell?
Yeah, right. Perhaps just a bit of a day off for the great Lamar Jackson. Speaking of the Lions' defense, though, is they try to stop Lamar Jackson. Jamie Collins held out of practice. In fact, kept away from the building. Here it is, Ian Rappaport saying that the Lions are exploring trade options involving linebacker Jamie Collins. Sources say they have fielded calls. Detroit is young there, which means Collins may be on his way out if there is a match. Let's continue on here with some of the things talked about with Jamie Collins. He is not, I don't want to say allowed, but he's being kept away from the facility, Braylon, as these trade rumors, these trade calls are being made.
Yeah, and what that is for is, when you're on the bubble and the team is trying to decide what they want to do with you moving forward, you don't want to have a guy in the building and a guy having a chance to conversate with other guys, talking to guys, and you don't know what it is, and it's kind of like this weird vibe, and it's weird energy. So they're keeping him at home, and they're trying to make a move. They're trying to place him. Listen, Jamie Collins is a really good player, especially when he was in his prime. So moving forward, they're trying to move in a younger direction. It's similar to what Seattle Seahawks were doing. You're looking at the board right now. You got
Anzalone.
Looking at Anzalone, Barnes, Reeves, Maben, and Pittman. You look at their average age in that range right now is around 24 and a half years old. So, moving Jamie Collins, who's an older linebacker, being able to get something for him in return and keeping the identity in which Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes seem to be doing is trying to get the young guys and trying to cultivate their knowledge, trying to get ahead of the curve, kind of like the Seahawks did when they first started the Legion and Boom back in 2010-11.
Campbell said today that he's doing it out of respect for Jamie. You don't want to be there when there's rumors circulating, and it's not a rumor. They have said, Campbell has said, we are exploring trade partners right now. It's going to be the Patriots and Matt Patricia, and we'll get a 7th-round pick for him. That's what we're going to get.
I do think it's worth pointing out that, Maz, you make a really good point there about Dan Campbell, because this is a respect factor, too, for a veteran guy.
Right.
You're giving him the respect to, hey, we're not going to mess around with you, make you come to practice when we know we're trying to get rid of you. You're going to take away reps in practice from a guy like Derek Barnes, who you saw the tweet up there that we just posted. He's the only linebacker of the group under contract beyond 2021.
And everybody likes.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's working hard. This was Dan Campbell on Derek Barnes. Look for Barnes. Barnes has been on our mind because he showed us in the preseason he will run and hit. This is a guy that a lot of Lions fans are excited about. I think, for the most part, Braylon, this is, a draft pick you'd like to see in the games. If you're not going to win games, you have to find pieces for you that are going to be part of this rebuild moving forward in years 2, 3, 4. Heaven forbid you get a year 5.
One thing I like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Maz and Ryan, I'm going to sit back and relax on this for a little bit. The one thing I love about the Detroit Lions right now is that we're talking about them, not us. They're talking about Lions players and things that Lions are doing across the nation right now. You see Baldy broke down Panay Sewell and the things that he's been able to do at the left tackle spot. Barnes has gotten notoriety around the country. I heard Shannon Sharp say something undisputed about wanting to get him in there. It's a guy that he's looking for. Skip Bayless said the same thing on their show on Fox. So they're doing some good things, and I think it's very different from a typical Lions team where you're just beating them down because they're giving you a reason to. The Lions have made some mistakes. The Lions have shown you some Lions stuff. But I think overall, there is something underneath that they are building, and the players are there. You're going to see something good. I like it. I have a good feeling about the Lions moving forward next 2 years.
And again, overall, as an organization, you're trying to change a culture. We keep using that word, culture. Well, part of that is, treating the players like men, right? And that's what I think the Lions are trying to do. Dan Campbell trying to do, Brad Holmes trying to do with Jamie Collins. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will track down Lomas Brown. He is among the NFL, the Pro Football Hall of Fame nominees. We'll chat with Lowdown. We'll do that coming up next. This is Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
My bad. Lomas Brown, 10 minutes from now. We'll get to Lomas Brown at 2:24, 8 minutes from now, actually. Lomas will join us. In the meantime, we do have week 3 of the NFL season tonight. We start with a game between a surprising Carolina Panthers. I'm not how surprised. I don't know how surprised I am. Carolina is a good team with a good football coach, with a quarterback who everybody wanted to toss aside as a nobody. Carolina tried to get Matthew Stafford. It looked like he was going that way, and then Stafford engineered to trade to the Rams. So they go get Sam Darnold, and Darnold has been good through 2 games. That defense has been really good through 2 games, and you're playing a Houston Texans team with another starting quarterback.
I think this could be a better game than people think it will be. I don't think it's going to be in any way, shape, fashion, or form anything about a future of the playoff for the Panthers. As of right now, I don't see them getting in. But the Panthers, as you said, they are a better team. And we keep talking about the rebirth, giving someone a second chance, being in a different spot. It didn't go well with Sam Darnold in New York with the Jets and Adam Gase, but he's having some success now. They opened up. They beat the Jets in Game 1. They beat the Saints in Game 2 after the Saints were coming off a great win against the Green Bay Packers. But I like Houston as well. Houston won their first game. I think that the defensive rush of the Panthers, they're going to have to get after the mobility. I think that's the thing you're seeing with the Houston Texans. They no longer have Tyrod Taylor, who's a mobile quarterback. You got Deshaun Watson, who was in there last season, mobile quarterback. Now you bring in Davis Mills. He's not so mobile. So I think that for the Panthers to continue what they're doing and led by Morgan Fox, that is, get after the quarterback, get after Davis Mills, force him. Don't allow them to get comfortable and settle and running the ball with Mark Ingram and Phillip Lindsay.
Panthers, by the way, have started 2-0 7 times. They made the playoffs 6 of those times. And teams that start 3-0 are basically in the driver's seat to make it a playoffs.
It is an interesting thing too for me, because I look at here you had a rookie coach in Matt Rule last year, and it's just amazing how quickly in the NFL you can get good. And I'm not saying that the Carolina Panthers are going to be some world beaters this year, but this is a 5-11 team that is now 2-0 that looks like they belong through 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah, I think it also matters who you play, what that team is going through, what you've gone through. They have a chance. They're in the driver's seat right now, and we'll see what happens. We'll keep a close eye on the NFC South as the year progresses.
We will get back into this game as the show goes on, but we do have Lomas Brown on the line with us, and we certainly don't want to make him wait any longer. Lomas Brown, a nominee for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He also is a Lions radio analyst, the former Lions great, Lomas Brown on Woodward Sports Network. Lomas, how you doing, my friend?
I'm great, man.
Lo.
How you guys doing?
Hey, Lo.
What's up, Big Lo?
What up, man? What up, Braylon? What up?
Hey, Lomas, you always have a smile on your face, but at least seemingly you always have a smile on your face. But now as a official nominee for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, what does that mean to you inside?
I mean, it's a great honor, man, just to be nominated, with all the greats that have played this game, and, just to have your name with them, just being nominated, it's just a wonderful thing. And, like Braylon knows, man, it's all the hard work that you put in, not only, in the pros, but college and high school to get to that point. It's just a great honor, man. So I appreciate the nomination that they're giving the big fella.
Before I ask you any questions, Lom, I have to show love. I've known Lomas since the 80s. My dad and he were on the same team, like Big Unc. Long, man, he's always been great to me. He's always given me guidance. He's always put a smile on my face. To see what he's done with the Detroit Lions, what he did for the Detroit Lions, 17 years, as well as the NFL, 17 years, 7 straight Pro Bowls, 1 All-Pro, Super Bowl win, the list goes on. You deserve your flowers while you're still here, man. So I'm glad, Unc, that you're getting that notoriety. But I do have a question behind that, though. I have to do my job, too. So you were there in 1985. You get drafted in 85. You know, you didn't have any success under Darryl Rodgers in the beginning. And then all of a sudden they get Wayne Fontes in 88. And then you guys go on to the NFC Championship game in 91. Talk about switching regimes, because that's what the Lions are in a bit of right now. They're going from Matt Patricia and not having success and tearing down the organization to Dan Campbell. And, you know, now we're trying to point out some fine points and some positivity. Talk about what it took and how it changed in the flip. Like, what does it take to flip the switch in 2 different regimes?
Yeah, you know, and Braylon, you're right, man. I sure appreciate the love, my brother, but you know, it's always going to be growing pains, especially when you're, like you say, trying to flip this whole regime over. I mean, new coach, new front office, new players, new system. You know, it's just a lot of moving parts going on right now with the Lions. And like I said, it's going to be growing pains going on with them. I love Coach Campbell and his philosophy. I love the fact that they got a lot of ex-NFL players over there as part of the coaching staff. You know, so I do think that things are going to turn around. But if you look at it, man, the last regime, they left us with a mess, man. I mean, they got rid of a lot of great players on this team, from this team. You're trying to replace those guys. A lot of leadership left out the locker room, so you're trying to replace that. So it's a lot of things that Coach Campbell, that coaching staff, Brad Holmes, it's a lot of things that they're going to have to put in place before we have the constant success that we know that we're looking for and that the Detroit Lion fans are looking for. So right now, man, we just taking our lumps right now, and you know, hopefully it won't be too many more lumps that we have to take, but it's just part of the growing pains of trying to get this organization back on track.
Talking to NFL Hall of Fame nominee Lomas Brown. Lomas, I'm going to back that up with one other question. I talked about this before you got on the show earlier. You were an individual that was very intricate in that locker room. You can bridge the gap. You can be with the older cats. You can be with the younger cats. And this started when you were young, by the way, because you have an old soul. But you can be with the younger cats. Yeah. You can be with the older cats. You know, you knew how to talk some stuff. You knew how to not talk stuff. You also were able to go to the management, front office, as well as the head coach, and be that buffer for the players and be that voice person. You got to have that leader in the locker room like you yourself were. Do you see anybody on the team that could possibly fill in those shoes? Because I know they're young. Or is that something that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have to go out and find this offseason?
You know, that's a great question, man. And, you know, just looking right now, the makeup of that locker room, you know, it's hard right now. It's hard to say who that leader is right now. You know, because everybody's so young on that team. You could maybe look at a guy like a Frank Ragnow, the center for the Lions, who's their best offensive lineman. You know, a guy that's well respected there. Of course, a lot of people like to look towards the quarterback, but I just think Jared is still trying to get his feet up under him, just still trying to get comfortable with being in the system. Maybe a guy like Tracy Walker, you know, can be a guy that can step into that forefront. But you're right, it's not a lot of guys. I know they're probably still in search of those guys, trying to bring those guys in who they know can be that buffer, like you say, between them, management, between them, the coaching staff, but also be that voice in the locker room. Because, you know, Braylon, NFL season, you're going to have your ups and downs. You know, it's going to be like you're on a roller coaster. But you need somebody in that locker room that can kind of keep the tempo like that. Just keep everybody like that on an even keel. So I do think that you might have a couple of possible people in that locker room, but I do think they're still trying to search for those people that they can put in there that can be that even keel type of leadership that they need in there.
Hey, Lo, it's Maz. Thanks again for coming on. We love having you on here. I wanted to talk to you about something that happened in the last couple of days with Dan Campbell and Jamie Collins now. They told him basically, look, Jamie, we're going to try to trade you. Stay home. We're going to do our thing here. I got respect for you. We don't want to have you in the locker room when all this stuff's going on. You've been here through a lot of coaches. And last year, Matt Patricia, what he did to Darius Slay and a couple of other guys on that team, let him hang while basically he was doing bad things behind their back and trying to deal them. How do you feel Dan Campbell has handled this situation, first time as a full-time head coach?
Well, so full disclosure, I'm going to be biased because me and Dan Campbell played together for 2 years with the Giants. So that's my guy right there. But I do think he's handling it the right way. I mean, again, you don't want to have what you call so-called the lame duck player in the locker room or a guy that knows that he's on the trading block. You want to give him every opportunity you can for him to find a home or for his people to try to find some place or a trading partner for him. I think it's wonderful what he's doing instead of, like you saying, having them in there kind of leading them on or having them think that he may be with the team when they know they're trying to trade him. They've laid all their cards on the table. And as a player, you can respect that. You can respect the honesty of the coaching staff. So I do think the way he's handling it, I do think that's the proper way of doing it. I know if that was me, I would want them to be straight up with me and probably do some of the same things that they're trying to do with Jamie Collins. So, the only kind of reservations I have, and maybe they have already tried to do it, is I just think, second game of the season, I just feel that they need to try to scheme more for those linebackers to have more success. Maybe it's a scheme that they could put them in that may help them a little bit more. And maybe they've already tried that, and I'm just not privy to that information. But that's probably the only thing, because I just think the second game of the season, that's just sure kind of early, to turn the dial or turn the page on the player. But, like I say, maybe they tried to scheme it to where those linebackers can have more success, and they just figure that the best thing for them and the organization is for Jamie Collins Sr. to move on to a better team or better pastures.
Talking to Lomas Brown Lions radio analyst, also a Pro Football Hall of Fame nominee. I got to take a 30-second pause, and then I want to explore that. What would that mean? What does it mean to get into that group? We'll explore that. And Lomas, I got a fun question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to put you on the spot. It's a fun question. We'll have that 30 seconds from now. Lomas Brown, Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. We are back with the great Lomas Brown, one of the greatest Lions ever to wear the uniform. 11 seasons with Detroit, definitely. A Pro Football Hall of Famer now, and current radio analyst. Lomas, just quick, let's get the fun one out of the way right now. So 11 seasons with the Detroit Lions. I went back this morning. I was hard at work with the crack staff research department. Me. You blocked for at least 11 quarterbacks in 11 seasons. Can you name them?
Man, that's a great question. Let me see. My first quarterback was Eric Hipp.
Yep.
I had Andre Ware. I had Rodney Peete. I had Eric Kramer. I had the Magic Man, Don Mikowski. I had Bob Gagliano. Chuck Long.
Oh, my God.
I'm missing the easy one.
Bob Ferguson.
Joe Ferguson.
I'm sorry, Joe Ferguson.
It's an easy one, Long.
You're only missing 3.
There we
Scott
go.
Mitchell.
You're only missing 2.
You got. I'll give you the 2. I'll give you the
Charlie Batch one of them?
Nope.
Nope.
Dave Craig.
Oh,
That's right. That's right.
And for a cup of coffee, Gino Torretta.
oh, Gino.
Oh,
wow.
Goodness, I forgot about Gino, man.
He blocked for 2
Heisman
Heisman
Trophy winners.
He blocked for 2 Heisman Trophy winners and played with another one. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Hey, Lomas, but speaking of this Hall of Fame situation, do you feel, because let's, Alex, put the resume up there that Mike O'Hara tweeted about yesterday. Do you feel, Lomas, that sometimes because you spent the bulk of your career with the Detroit Lions, I mean, look at this resume. Because you spent the bulk of your career with the Detroit Lions, that somehow works against you. I almost feel like if you played for the Giants or the Cowboys or the Packers, you'd have been in the Hall of Fame a decade ago. You know, I mean, how do you view this?
Well, I think the one thing that I do think hurt me being with Detroit is we had some great regular seasons. We won pretty good in the regular season, but it's the playoffs, it's the postseason wins that we didn't have a lot of success with. And we went to the postseason a lot. You know, I think we went there like 5 years that I was there in the 90s. We went to the playoffs, but we didn't win. And Braylon, you know that, man. That's when you get a chance to really put your name up there and out there, is during the postseason. And unfortunately, we couldn't do that when I was with the Lions, because you think about it, I played with a lot of great players. You know, Kevin Glover, Jerry Ball, and Chris Spielman, and Benny Blades, and Herman, and all of them. I could just go on and on with some of the great players that I played with that I thought should get a lot more recognition than they got. But I just truly believe, because we didn't have a lot of postseason success, I just think that kind of hurts my case with the Lions. Plus, I'm a big fella. They don't treat the big fellas like they should. I mean, look at Emmett. As great of an offensive line as Emmett had, he only got one in the Hall of Fame, and that's Larry Allen. You know, so I just think they look at the big fellas, since we don't get the stats, you know, we don't get in the end zone, you know what I'm saying? They don't look at us as seriously as they should. And I just think that combination of not having a lot of postseason success and also being a big fella, I think those are the two things that kind of hurt me a little bit.
Yeah, Lom, you're 100% correct, because I heard people last year at the end of Julian Edelman's career talking about him for the Hall of Fame, and I said, hell no, it's no way. But the only reason why they're talking about him is why? All the success that he had in the playoffs, the postseason, and then obviously the catch he made against the Falcons, the infamous 28-3. Here's a more fun, lighter side question. Here's another fun one.
Maz hates the Patriots, Lomas. Sorry.
You know me. I'm always trying to tell jokes when I see you. I'm always trying to make you laugh, which is not hard. So I don't know if I'm funny or you're just that nice of a guy. Who was the locker room guy for you? Like, who was the funny guy in any team that you played with that you miss? Because, like, when we were talking about it, what we miss isn't the game. It's not Monday Night Football. It's not the helmet. It's the locker room. It's the camaraderie. It's the brotherhood. Who's that funny guy that you would go to practice for just to see and couldn't wait to hear a joke or some Jones?
I'm going to tell you, man, I don't know if it's a wide receiver thing, Braylon, but that darn Brett Perriman, that was a fool there, man.
It's Terry Foster's guy.
That boy was crazy there. He always cracking jokes. You know, he always pulling pranks. Brett was crazy, man. And Brett, and little as he was, Braylon, I'm telling you, one of the strongest players I ever been around, because Brett could bench press 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that ain't no joke. You can ask anybody that was in that locker room. We seen it do it itself. So I just think Brett Perriman was one of those guys, man. You always had to be on your P's and Q's, because he'll try to sneak you with a joke or two. And Barry was like that too, a little bit. You know, he'll try to jab you, try to be that quiet assassin, and try to jab you with a joke or two. You know, you had to think about his jokes, his punchlines, but he'll try to hit you with a few. But definitely Brett Perriman was the guy in our locker room.
Something about wide receivers and defensive linemen, because man, D linemen got jokes. Like I played with a guy named Calvin Pace, DN with the New York Jets. Actually born and raised in Detroit, played for Wake Forest. Man, he cracked jokes on people's suit. Like, travel day, they come in with the suits and you think you feel good. He talked about a rookie so bad, rookie went home and changed and put on some jet gear. Calvin
I
Pace.
believe it.
Hey, Lomas, you talk about these guys. I mean, it just brings me back to really the golden era of Lions football in the modern era. I mean, you say 75, I say Lomas Brown. You say 84, I say Herman Moore. You say, number 54. Robert Porche's in there as well. I mean, all of these guys in this organization. Do you think, in with the change in ownership, with Sheila Ford Hamp taking over, do you think that you try to do something a little bit better to take care of those guys? Put some numbers in Ford Field that people can be proud of, that people can look up and say, because I see 84 in the preseason game, Lomas, I actually want to vomit. I saw number 4 go out there. I see number 4 for Siebert kicking for the Lions, and I just cover my eyes. I'm like, nobody should wear number 4 on the Detroit Lions as long as I live. It's just like, do you think the organization could do a better job recognizing former players of a golden era of the modern era of Lions football?
It's funny you say that. That class, especially the 91 team that got one game away from the Super Bowl, we talk about that all the time. We feel that, it's not enough made about that team. And we didn't go on and win a Super Bowl or anything, but as of right now, that's the best team in Lions championship team. That's the best team in Lions history. When we finished 12-4, and like I say, lost to Washington in the NFC championship game. And I think the other thing too is that now that I'm doing radio and a chance to go around to all these other different stadiums, and you see them embrace the past. You see their players, all on the walls at their stadiums. You see their legacy up everywhere. And I do think it could be a little better for us. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't understand why Barry don't have a statue up somewhere. Come on, man. I mean, the greatest Lion of all time, and, he doesn't have a statue up. So, I do think that can get better. I'm hoping that it does get better, and I know that Sheila Hamp Ford, I know that's something that she takes a lot of pride in what she's doing with the organization, how she's turning it around, how she's putting her fingerprint on it, and hopefully that'll be something that they kind of keep trying to do, keep trying to embrace the past, because that's how you're going to learn. That's how you keep these young guys from bumping their heads, is talking to these old vets, talking to us guys that have sat in that locker room, that have been where they've been at, to keep them from making some of the mistakes some of us made. So, yes, I hope they do continue to do that, because I do see it a lot of places that I go and visit at other stadiums.
Hey, Lo, I wanted to ask you about the owner, Sheila Ford Hamp, and this weekend, Calvin Johnson's getting his Hall of Fame ring at halftime.
Yeah.
And Braylon and I were talking in the back before Ryan got in from his Fox duties. And we were just chatting. And you know what would be really cool is if they handed him a check for $3 million at midfield out of Sheila's pocket.
The number went up.
Yeah.
The number went up since we talked.
He'd have to pay tax on that.
I don't care. I'm just
That's
saying.
a mean gift.
How cool would that be? And shouldn't they do that? Come on, man.
Hey, I'm with you, man. Again, you talking one of the all-time greats. I mean, I don't understand. And, like I say, I'm not privy to what went on or any of the talks that went on before. But I just know Calvin feels one way. And to me, if you are out here and you're an ambassador, see, we're the closest people that talk to the fans. The fans have more access to us older players, us retired players, than they do so it seemed like you would want the retired guys to say great things about the organization, have a great experience with the organization. Plus, if you think about future free agents that may want to come to Detroit, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't look good. The optics just don't look good when you got one of your all-time greats that's upset with the organization over something, over money. You know, and that's, you know, guys make their livelihood, and this is a tough livelihood to make in the NFL. And that's a sore subject when you start talking about digging in somebody's pockets and taking their money out their pockets. So, like I said, I'm not privy to everything, Maz, but to me, that would be one thing that I would continuously try to get corrected is the relationship with Calvin Johnson and the relationship with all my alumni. I would make sure that's something that's on the top of my to-do list and make sure it stays up there. So that would be nice. And I bet Calvin would think that would nice if they presented that gold jacket. You know they get a ring too and a check. I bet he think that would be nice too.
Just slide that check in that coat pocket and call it a day, baby.
There you go.
Hey, Lomas, you've been so gracious with your time. I do want to leave you with this question, though, and it's something that we love to talk about. You spent your entire career, what we believe is a Hall of Fame career at left tackle.
No doubt.
Panay Sewell. Talk to us about him and Taylor Decker. You know, we sit here, we think we know what we're talking. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just see a kid that looked lost at right tackle, goes to left tackle, and looks like he's the second coming of Lomas Brown. You know, I mean, what do you see, and what would you do if you were presented with, you know, what Dan Campbell is going to have a really big test here? What do you do? Taylor Decker, when he comes back, what do you do with this situation?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I'm putting them back at right tackle, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because and Braylon, you know this, man. It's such a big learning curve in the NFL. It really is, man. He still has a lot to learn, and if I could buy some time with him over at the right tackle position, trying to get himself together, getting his foundation up under him, you know, again, technique and everything, and I'm telling you, I agree 100%. He looks great over at the left tackle position. But you got Taylor Decker that looks good over at the left tackle position that's a more seasoned veteran. And, you know, I just think if you could just put Taylor back at left tackle, put Panay Sewell back over at right tackle, just give him a little bit of time to get acclimated to the speed in the NFL, to get acclimated to some of these different pass rushes that he'll see in the NFL. You're gonna have a long time with him. Think about it. He's just 20 years old. He's still a young guy. He got a lot of years ahead of him. But right now, I just think he'll make the line better at the right tackle position. Because, again, Matt Nelson, who hasn't done a bad job over at the right tackle, I just think Panay Sewell is a better fit over at the right tackle position than Matt Nelson would be. And to me, that'll just make the whole line just a lot better. You put Taylor Decker back over at his natural position, the left tackle position. Now, in years to come, being if that's next year or the year after, yeah, they're going to have to make some decisions about what they do. But in the short term, I would put Taylor back over at left, and I would move Panay Sewell back over to the right tackle position. I just think he'll make that whole offensive line better. And that's what they're going to need, especially with Jared Goff being back there, being young, still learning the system. And Braylon, them not having too many weapons at the wide receiver position, bro. You see, you can't 100%. Really stretch the field right
not
now.
At all.
So you're going to need to be able to run the ball and have success running the ball.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually had a question in there, but you explained exactly what I want to ask you and talk about is I was in favor of moving him to left tackle permanently after I saw the game against Nick Bosa. I said, hey, you know what, Taylor Decker, 6 years, he hasn't made the Pro Bowl. Plus, he has more experience. You can put him at the right tackle, and he should be there. He should be better there naturally. Man, I realized that he was only 20 years old, turning 21 next month. He didn't play last year. He's a young guy, and like you said, you got to get acclimated to the speed, Ryan. That's the one thing that people talk about. What's the biggest difference? And it's not necessarily speed in terms of 40 times. It's not 4.3 to 4.3 because the speed is the same there. It's the speed in which the players that have been in the league, what do they know, Lomas? They know the game. They do the homework. That's how they're faster. So once he catches up to that, I like him in right tackle for the future, learning that position, and Taylor Decker. That's a mean offensive line.
Lomas,
you're right.
We certainly appreciate your time, my friend. We can't thank you enough for your time here on Woodward Sports.
Thanks, Lo.
Hope to do it again soon, and best of luck with the Hall of Fame. We believe you're a Hall of Famer on the field.
Yes.
We know you're a Hall of Famer off the field, so we certainly appreciate it.
Amen.
And I appreciate y'all taking care of my man Braylon.
We got him.
Hey, Stan and my mom told me to tell you hi via text. I was texting him as you were talking, so I say hi.
And make sure you tell Herman hello, too.
You know it ain't nothing but love. You
I wanted to say, love you, big guy.
Lomas, he's taking care of all of us. Over here, this guy.
Don't believe that.
Thanks so much. Best of luck to you. The great Lomas Brown, Hall of Fame nominee, Pro Football Hall of Fame nominee. Of course, one of the best Lions ever to wear the uniform.
I'm excited.
We're all excited for that.
God.
We're excited for him because we all feel like we know Lomas Brown. He has played here. He has grown up here. He has stayed here. We just love the guy.
Pillar in the community, man.
I love listening to him, too.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. A Lions radio analyst. I want to react to something he said. I got to take a quick break. Come right back. This is Ermani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports, the bottom line. Network time, baby.
You know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 five-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey, everybody, it's Maz for our good friends and our studio sponsors, MyBookie.ag. This Saturday, there's going to be blood. Head to MyBookie.ag and get in the UFC First Blood promotion. When any fighter on the main card bleeds, you win. The second you see blood, you get paid. With this bet centered around the 5 main card bouts, including 2 title fights, you know the octagon's not going to stay dry for long. Take advantage of this opportunity. Make some easy money with MyBookie. Head to MyBookie right now. Use that promo code Woodward. Start off with a double deposit bonus. That's promo code Woodward to double your money so you can double your winnings. That's not all. If you deposit right now, you'll also get a free entry into the MyBookie $50,000 NFL Survivor Pool. That's what I call a winning season. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, don't forget, call Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline, 888-223-3044.
Guys, just quickly, I wanted to react to something that Lomas said and basically piggyback off something that you said at the end of that. I come out here and I would like to believe that because of the access we have to people who really know what they're talking about, like Braylon Edwards. I have personal access to Braylon Edwards' mind. You know, we can sit here and talk.
We got Maz. That's my access.
Thanks, baby.
Exactly.
We got Joik, too.
But we got Joik Bell. We got
Darren McCarty.
Lomas Brown. But what I'm saying is the thing about this job is we have access to talk to people who know a whole hell of a lot more than I do. Yeah. And I would like to believe that I'm not naive enough to think that, you know, I make a judgment and it doesn't change. After hearing Lomas Brown, Braylon Edwards, and some others who I really respect mention Taylor Decker's got to go back to left tackle and the reasons why, it does get me to pivot my mindset, change my opinion about that. I believe if you're just so stubborn that you think you know what you're talking about and all these other people who forgot more about football than you'll ever know, if you don't change, then, you know, I think you got to change. And I do now see.
Sound like Rocky Balboa.
Well, what I'm saying is,
if I could change,
right,
you can change.
But I do see now some reason, and I do expect Penei Sewell to go to the right side. And I don't think I'm going to rip my hair out if that happens.
I think you're right as well.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you don't have to rip your hair out. We see one thing. What you saw is what everyone saw. We saw Penei Sewell at right tackle. We saw him look out of sorts. He looked lost, looked confused, looked like it just was not the position for him. And it really made you question the draft pick. And then you move in the left tackle, and you see him having success against Nick Bosa. You see him having success against Green Bay and Rashawn Gary in week 2. And now it's easy to say, leave him there. He should belong there, like you see. And this is where we drafted him. But then you get the nuances, like the little insight, the stuff that we know, the stuff that especially Lomas, he's played both those positions at the highest level. You know, sometimes what your eyes see, there's other things there. And he, at the level and the speed of the game, being young, learning the knowledge, learning the moves, getting some people on film and having some notes that he can take. Having him at right tackle and having Decker at left, just think about that. Yeah. Just think about that. He's a young man. Like this time next year, him at right tackle, I guarantee he looks a lot better than he did in that preseason. Amen.
And yesterday we had Chad Johnson in here, and he threw some info down on me, and I got to take it for what it was. Taylor Decker is one of the best left tackles. No, he didn't make a Pro Bowl. That's because there are a couple of guys that always make the Pro Bowl at left tackle. He's right there. And if you get this kid right at Penei Sewell, he's 20. He'll be 21 in October. Yeah. If you get him on the right again, he's that good of an athlete that he'll probably become very good there. So you have Decker on one side, Sewell on the other, Ragnow in the middle. You plug a couple of guards in. And you know what? You know what? Maybe Jared Goff becomes a good quarterback again.
You got the best offensive line in the league,
if that's
the case. Guys, got to take another short break. When we come back, man, chill out. Some good ones today, too. Yeah, my goodness. Going to let you know something that we got coming on Sunday as well.
Reminding Edwards, it's the bottom line.
What he said.
Woodward Sports, baby.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Papa Romano's handcrafts pizza that have made them a Detroit favorite for over 50 years. Count it, baby. That's 5 decades. House-made dough, hand-cut veggies, fresh cheese. They all make the difference. The same quality goes into their pizzas. All their pizzas. All of them. Count them. All of their pizzas. Subs and pizzas. Order now at paparomanos.com, and you know it's coming. Opa!
All right, guys, it is the time of the show that we like to call statements, people, things, call them all out. We call
all
it
the BS.
Man,
chill out.
Are you think it's funny?
Chill, Daddy.
Pack your bags, get the hell off. Now, do you understand what you did?
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
All right, gang, I went last yesterday, so I'll go first today, okay? It was no secret. It was one of the biggest stories for at least a couple of days on ESPN.com in the NHL. I rarely talk about the NHL, but the San Jose Sharks player, Evander Kane, is going through a really messy divorce, and his wife accused him pretty violently of betting on his own games, having this enormous gambling problem, and the debt was so great that he bet on his own games. Well, the NHL has done an extensive investigation. They have completed the gambling investigation of Evander Kane, and they say they have found no evidence, none whatsoever, that the San Jose Sharks forward bet on his own games. I can tell you with 100,000% certainty that the NHL and their partners in this investigation turned over every leaf, looked at every text message, got every email, anything in accordance with this allegation on Evander Kane, turned his life upside down and found nothing. They did find a gambling problem. He does have about $1.5 million worth of debt, but none of which has come from betting on his own games. So he admitted to the gambling problem. He admitted to the debt. But when you tag somebody with that, when you just make an allegation.
His wife.
It was his wife.
Estranged wife.
Going through a terrible divorce.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
There it is.
So
It looked bad.
when you try to really hammer somebody like that, that is a tag unfairly that he will carry for the rest of it. There will be at least one person in an organization that he plays with. He does have a no-trade clause, and he will remain with San Jose. But I guarantee you, just the allegation alone, there's at least one or two people in that organization, hell, maybe even in the dressing room, that think, is this guy doing some unsavory things out there on the ice? Can I trust my teammate? I don't know, man. This is one of those where the correction doesn't get as much publicity as the first story,
which is all the time.
Is all the time the correction really flying under the radar?
That's
here.
why we have to be careful with Deshaun Watson as well.
Well, I mean, fine. I wish we could just let all of these things just play out before we make our judgments. Unfortunately, it's not the world we live in. So, I don't even know what my man who I'm telling to chill out.
His wife?
Yeah, to the wife, for trying to really ruin somebody that bad. Man, chill out. Chill out.
And this is all her. You can tell that this is an ugly divorce, and that's what happened. That's what happens in divorce. Sometimes people do unlogistical things. You're not operating out of logic. You're operating out of love and hate and disgruntled behavior. Maybe he did some things in terms of that betting, and maybe it took him to a place, and maybe there was some other things as it related to their relationship. But never lie. That's the one thing that you can control in life. Never lie about things. Like for you to lie to go to the NHL, for you to go to the Sharks and talk about him betting on the team, and he has a horrendous gambling problem. They found the gambling problem, but they didn't find him betting. All the resources, all the money that they have as a professional organization, the people, the connections that they have to the FBI, the CIA, the ways that they can overturn things and flip things upside down. For them, like you said, not to find anything, they could find something if they wanted to. That's how the reach they have. For them not to find anything as it related to what she said, that's BS. That's BS.
And he does have a problem, though, and I hope he gets it under control.
Sure, no doubt. I just wish, and I think I can assure you that the NHL, for the sake of their own league and their own game, did everything in this investigation and found that he did not bet on his own games, and I think that's worth pointing out. So
I hope both of them get it together.
Amen.
I do. He has an issue, and I hope he handles it the right way.
It's a disease.
100%.
Like
I hope
alcohol
the NHL,
and drugs.
100%, man. I hope they take care of it as a family, and I hope they get together.
Yeah.
Am I going next, or you going, Matt? What you want to do?
You name it, brother.
I'll go. I'll get out the way. I'll say the best for last. I'll say you for last.
Thank you.
I know I've been doing basketball. I did basketball yesterday, and actually I did Russell Westbrook yesterday, but I got to double back on the NBA. Today, the NBA, ESPN put out their NBA rankings, the top 100 players in the NBA, and it was interesting that at the number 29 spot, they had Russell Westbrook. And I understand that Russell Westbrook has, gone down a little bit. Team, didn't make the regulation playoffs last year when he was traded to the Wizards. But guess who they had at 28 underneath him? One player underneath him. You guessed it. Ben Simmons at number 28 is ranked above Russell Westbrook. Now, just for some stats to give you a little buffer. Last year, Ben Simmons was 14.3, 6'9", and 7'2". Russell Westbrook was 22.2, 11.5, and 11.7, and averaging another triple-double stat-wise, which is his 6th out of 7 in the last 7 years. I understand that they had the number 1 record, that being the Philadelphia 76ers, but Ben Simmons is atrocious. He's shown it at every level. His field goal percentage, his free throw percentage. Russell not that much better, but Russell is a gamer. I would take him any day of the week over Ben Simmons. I cannot imagine. Like, we're sitting here talking about a guy that won't go to the 76ers because they hurt his feelings. And I understand Doc said something on TV, and Doc shouldn't have said it, but they hurt his feelings. That's why he won't report. He couldn't make free throws in the playoffs. He couldn't score points. He chose to not dunk the ball on the Trae Young that's 5'8", and he chose to kick the ball out while he was under the rim, standing 6'10". This is the guy that you put above the guy in Russell Westbrook, who went on a tear last year to get the Wizards in, without Bradley Beal, mind you, get them into the playoffs, or at least a chance to fight for the playoffs, and average a triple-double yet again, and having a career high in rebounds and assists, both averaging 11.2, 11.7. This guy is below the other guy that I named. Man, chill out. Man, chill out. NBA, get yourself together.
Hey, Bray, I got a question for you.
I'm ready.
Do you mind if I join you on this?
Yeah, oh, please.
NBA, man, chill out.
I love it. Jump
Come
in.
on. That was phenomenal
That's ESPN.
today.
It's ESPN.
But chill out. You are so right,
It's
partner.
total and utter BS. ESPN a lot of times puts these things out, and I almost feel like they do it on purpose. It's certain people they don't like. It's certain narratives that they do like, and so they put it out in a certain way. I love ESPN in certain regards, but when you do things like this, it makes people wonder. So, man, ESPN, chill out.
Chill out. Not Lomas. I'm sorry.
Lomas away.
Lomas.
I'm about Lomas. I'm all about
Tom
Lomas Brown today.
You're not gassed, are you?
No, dude, I feel great.
The energy's in the building.
I know. I just love using that word.
I love using that word. I got a charity event tonight, man.
You got a water now?
I got a water.
You're gonna be right by my house.
I am. Gonna be at the
Time to go swimming.
Gonna be at the Edsel and Eleanor Ford House tonight.
That's a nice place. It's a nice venue.
Absolutely.
Come on over for a swim, man.
Your pool
Backyard's
open?
flood.
Is the pool open?
No, the backyard's flooded.
That's one way to go
It's
about
still raining.
You got the sandbags?
Hey, Mother Nature, chill out.
Is that your chill out
That's a good
today?
one.
No, but I have another one.
All right.
But that is my number one chill out.
Okay.
Enough with this rain, please.
Please.
All right, my man chill out is this kid. I mean, listen, I root for the Lions, the Giants, and the Jets. Isn't that enough punishment? They're horrible. The three of them, I know the Giants had great years, 4 Super Bowl championships. The Jets won a Super Bowl when they were in the AFL. They've been to 2 AFC championship games since then. My man Braylon was there representing. But now I got this kid breaking down Jets film. Have you seen this, guys?
Let me see it.
Check this out. I'm going to shut the music for this.
If there's one play that sums up the New York Jets, this one has to be it. This Patriot's winning off the edge. This Jets lineman is probably holding. There's a Patriot charging up the middle at Zach with no blocking at all. This Jets dude is being pancaked on the ground. We have these 2 idiots staring at each other like, yo, what are we doing? I don't know. Let's just stand here. We have 78 touching his own lineman. On top of that, we have 2 receivers with 0 separation, and the cherry on top has to be Zach Wilson throwing this pick.
Listen,
and Corey Davis has...
Listen, you punk. And he said Corey Davis has no hops. It was funny because there are 2 Jet linemen. Put that back up. Let it run.
They're looking at
Just
each
let
other,
it run.
and it's
look
no
at them.
one there.
Ryan, look at these 2 Jet linemen to the right of the Jet line. Look. They're just blocking. Nobody is there.
Yeah.
They're blocking space.
Nobody is there. This kid abusing my Jets. I don't blame him, I guess, but hey, kid, chill out, man. I know.
I disagree, man. I feel like his father is probably a lifelong Jet guy. He's been watching the Jets since he came out of the womb. The way that he's able to break it down, he knows a lot about football, and the Jets are his team, and he's breaking it down. I like it. I play for the Jets. It sucks that they suck, but I like it.
I consider you a Jet.
I am a Jet. I'm a Jet.
I'm
a Jet.
Of all the teams, like,
yeah.
You know,
all right, give me a Jet then. Give me a JETS. Let's go.
JETS, Jets.
No, you got to do it with the arms.
Nah, man, I did it on the table so you can hear it.
Well, and we don't have the time. I got to get you a break and address my friends.
Whatever.
My new friends from Barstool MSU. We'll address that situation. We'll do it next. Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports, the bottom line. Network.
Would you like to win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time?
Then watch as we turn this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
Watch the Call Sam Chopper Shop on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey guys, it's Maz for Legacy Partners Insurance. That's right, Team Maz for Legacy Partners Insurance. You know what I tell you. Nobody knows the insurance games like Legacy Partner does. And they're a local agent that knows the local insurance market, so why not give them a chance? They've been around for over 100 years. They're an independent agent, so they work for you. They make the carriers compete for your business. 7 to 10 carriers for personal and for your commercial. How about over 50? That's right. They're going to work for you. So give them a call, 586-209-4106. It doesn't cost you a dime to check it out and see if they could save you hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars a year. I know many people that have already done it And if you haven't shopped for insurance, they're the ones that do it for you. Better yet, go online, legacypartnersins.com/Woodward Sports. Tell them Maz sent you. Fill out the information. Let Legacy Partners go to work for you.
There it is.
You want to win this? This Sunday, September 26th, 11 to 1, our Lions pregame show at Tin Roof, the old Chelly's. Come on down. Come see us. And look at this.
That's amazing. Look at the touchdown. You got Calvin diving for it against the New York Football Giants. That's Antrell Rowe, I believe, at safety. That is a heck of a picture, man. You got Landon Collins over there. Golden Tate is on the field, I believe.
Size of this thing.
That's a good size
Look
too,
at the
man.
size
That's
of
beautiful.
This thing.
That will look perfect in Dave Burkett's not Dave's room.
Bob
Nightingale. That will look great in his man cave. It's a great man cave piece. It's signed. It's authentic. John Yu at Pro Sports over there at Laurel Manor. I love it, man. It's a great piece.
All you got to do is show up,
Just
hang
show
out
up.
with us at the Tin Roof
That's
on
not
Sunday,
hard.
11 to 1.
That's not hard.
That's it.
That is not.
Hold on, I don't want to destroy.
Good job
the
by you. I was afraid you were going to fall or drop it or something, man.
Go ahead, Ryan.
You
Get
got
off the
that
chair and do it properly.
Well, I can't.
Now I see that number 35 athletic ability from Grosse Pointe. So I'm starting to see it show a
Never
little
came
bit.
off the field, Bray.
I'm starting to believe it a little bit, man.
Never came off the field.
I'm not-
Even special teams.
I'm not fully there, but I'm getting closer week
Oh
after
man, I'll
week.
bring my old VHS tapes in.
I got some VHS tapes too. We should watch those.
Oh man, when
We
I
should do
knocked
that.
this dude out from Lance
see,
Cruz
there-
North,
see, there
he's
you-
like on there like this. Oh.
There you go.
Like,
See,
I knocked him out. His eyes were in the back, and his arm was like up like this.
I gave you a little piece of rope, and you hung yourself.
And I
with
was
it.
playing offense. I had the ball. Knocked him out. He was the defender.
Are you ready to go to the next
You
segment?
played both ways, didn't you? Didn't you play both?
And
both?
three.
Yeah, he played both ends of the
And
bench.
special teams.
Both ends of the bench.
Okay, got to get to this, guys. Our friends, do we have the Barstool situation? Okay,
We got
so
it.
here's what our friends from Barstool MSU put out yesterday, just as a little sample, having fun with yours truly. I will take the publicity. Thank you very much. Michigan State fans were talking about, Kenneth Walker better be considered for the Heisman Trophy. Kenneth Walker the third. Oh my, he's got to be a Heisman Trophy contender. It's phenomenal.
We just can't get satisfied. We got to keep chopping.
For all of you Michigan
You like this
State
so far,
fans
Braylon?
and your September Heisman.
This is good.
Alex May's going nuts.
This is easy when you can get to this guy.
Alex is losing.
Walker does it again. Walker into the end zone.
Listen to the test.
Oh man.
Listen to the test.
Le'Veon a little bit. He looks like Le'Veon a little bit.
Good for Kenneth Walker. We really appreciate him. But I mean,
That's a good video.
The third, by the way.
yeah, absolutely.
That was a good video.
So,
coming.
Alex, what?
Shut up.
I said tuck coming.
Tuck coming. Okay, fine, good.
They
Something's
love their
coming.
catchphrases.
I know, right?
Pack the woodshed.
What
That's
was the
another
other one that D'Antonio used to say? Pride
Pride
comes
comes
before the fall. Come on,
Pride comes before
When you
the
talk
fall.
like that, you're
This
not
guy.
expecting to win games.
Right. This
Oh, did
poor
I hate
guy.
him?
Pride comes before the
So
fall.
here's the deal, and then they posted on their little site, their sites. I shouldn't say little sites; they are a
They'll get you
behemoth. And
again.
we love Barstool. I
again.
love Barstool. I mean, what Dave Portnoy has created, and all the guys, Big Cat.
I
mean,
love the pizza the best.
that is look. Stooley, the Stool president, is a Michigan guy. I love him. They have farmed out, different sort of things in the Barstool MSU
They reach out
crowd.
different institutions.
Right. The Barstool MSU crowd gets a hold of this clip and does what they want. It is completely taken out of context, by the way. Completely out of context. For the full context, Alex, please play for you what I actually said. His top 5
He gets a
players to
vote.
watch for the Heisman. Now, this is why I found it interesting, because after Saturday's game, Michigan State fans, ad nauseum, I almost wanted to vomit. Michigan State fans were talking about, Kenneth Walker better be considered for the Heisman Trophy. Kenneth Walker the third. Oh, my, he's got to be a Heisman Trophy contender. This is the same fan base that you mentioned Heisman Trophy in the month of September for one of your guys, and they have coined the phrase September Heisman. I almost should save it for my man Chill Out, but I just cannot wait.
Go ahead, go for it.
For all of you Michigan State fans and your September Heisman, whatever it is.
They didn't have anything to say back in August, though.
Man, chill the bleep out with your Heisman freaking trophy talk with Ken. Great player, fine player, good player. But you are not allowed to mention Heisman trophy in the month of September with one of your players. You're just not allowed to do it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you do it. But there you go. There's your mention of your Heisman trophy, okay? Are you happy? Okay, so there you go. So in no way, shape, or form, Braylon Edwards, was I attacking the legitimacy of bringing Kenneth Walker into any discussion for a Heisman trophy. What I was calling out was a fan base that during the Miami game was clamoring to have him be included in some sort of Heisman discussion, which he immediately was after the game, and rightfully so. However, that fan base in particular, with all the times that we want to do it with our teams here at Michigan, and we did it with 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 players, we talk about the September Heisman. I just thought it was a little hypocritical to be yearning for Heisman talk when you haven't even really done much. I mean, you beat a bad Northwestern team. You beat a Youngstown State team. Are they even Division 1A? I don't even know if I think they might be FCA.
I don't even know what that stands for.
They're the Penguins.
Right. You beat that team. And then
you went to Miami.
You go to Miami. And look, Miami's going to lose 5 games this year. I mean,
it's true.
5, 6 games this year. So, I mean, no offense, but Kenneth Walker's a great player. I really like him. But it's not like you want to make fun of my team's schedule.
I'm not taking away anything that Michigan State, I'm not taking away from Kenneth Walker III. Even in what you said in that clip, you said he's a great ball player, especially after the Miami game. He's really asserted himself. He deserves to be in that conversation of the Heisman. But you never disrespected. What you got annoyed with is the Michigan State fan base. The way they go after Michigan, the way they go after Georgia, or anybody. They will go after anybody because that's where they make their peas. That's where they make their fun. That's where they make their bones because there's nothing to talk about. On the flip side, I know why they're excited. They haven't had a player that was worthy of some type of Heisman talk in
Le'Veon Bell,
and he wasn't even worthy of Heisman talk. He just was a really, really good player. This is the first time they've had since Charles Rodgers.
Yeah,
like name somebody since Charles Rodgers that is a Heisman talk type player. So I understand why they're excited. I'm excited for him and Kenneth Williams because I'm excited for October 30th. But their fan base, you can never win an argument with the Michigan State fan base because they will find any excuse, loophole, or they really just don't care.
Right.
So you can never win an argument with Michigan State. You're just not going to do it.
Listen,
so don't try.
Listen, this kid he's the real deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not saying he's not.
Watch the show. Watch him. He's the real deal. Now, Alex, I want you to put up the pro football talk
but Matt,
from college football.
Wait a minute. I want to talk to you.
Go ahead. Talk to me.
I'm not saying he's not.
You never did.
I'm saying that he is a Heisman candidate.
Fine.
Okay.
But we never said he wasn't.
Wait till October.
Why? Because they already put out the Heisman hopefuls.
Wait till October.
Put up our Heisman hopefuls.
We never said he
put
was
him up,
not
Alex.
going to be.
Find the Heisman hopefuls. And he's on there. He is on the sheet. Look.
I see it. And look who the first guy is.
I know. I'm just saying.
What do you say about the first guy?
I think he's great.
What do all 4 of these teams have in common? They haven't played anybody.
Right.
So you have to take this graphic, highest graded RBs. You got to take it with a grain of salt because Blake Corum, who I think is amazing, and I think he really is that good. Just like I think Kenneth Walker, the third, is that good. Charbonnet, he's good. He's not that as good as those two, but he's good. But you got to take it with a grain of salt and look at who they've played. Like, I hate when they put out those type of graphics that early. Now, the Heisman graphic I do like after 3 weeks, and I agree that Kenneth Walker III should be on that list.
Now, Kenneth Walker III is also leading the nation in yards after contact.
20
we have
missed
that.
tackles. Yeah.
I mean, he runs through people. The guy is good, man. He belongs.
I am not saying he's not good.
I know
Maz.
Listen to me.
We are.
We're going to talk Heisman. The guy belongs in the Heisman talk.
Why are we talking Heisman?
Because
it's been 3 weeks.
That's what we do on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. during the week. When there's nothing to talk about, that's when you talk about that stuff.
Nothing to talk about. I wish there was.
There's a ton of stuff to talk about.
Alex?
Can I say something as the only Michigan State fan on this show?
Go Green.
Oh, what a jerk. Let me say this now with all of this, if we're going to talk about the Heisman Trophy, because it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday, but it's a Thursday, Maz.
I know, but this was talked about earlier in the week, right? We're bringing it back?
Sure, we are bringing it back. Okay.
Okay.
Are you guys done?
Yeah, I think
I'm
so.
not arguing with you.
I'm arguing with you.
I'm a Michigan fan. I'm telling you with my eyes, that guy is
Braylon,
the real deal.
But he wasn't saying he wasn't.
Thank
He
you,
was talking
Braylon.
about the Michigan State fan base.
Right.
Not Kenneth Walker III.
I think Alex had a message.
Oh, yeah, Alex did have a question.
Can I please? Okay, Michigan State football is at its very best when we have a workhorse, bell cow, every down running back.
You and every other team in the nation.
Okay, but which we haven't had since 2017 with LJ Scott. And even with LJ Scott, he was good for missing every other game with some miscellaneous injuries. So go back to 2012 with Le'Veon Bell. That was the last time we've had a running back of the caliber of Kenneth Walker. And the fact that Kenneth Walker is coming along in the second year of the Mel Tucker era, Michigan State fans are just a little bit giddy. So, Ryan, I apologize on behalf of Michigan State if that came across as we think he should be in the Heisman conversation.
Let me say this stupid little thing, too, okay?
What time was that? We got to remember that he apologized.
Right,
to.
yeah, write that down.
Write that timestamp down.
Let me say this silly little fact. Since the year 2000, which we're in the year 2021, I believe, there have been 3 running backs to win the Heisman Trophy. Really 2. Reggie Bush's was vacated, but I still count it.
Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram.
Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, Reggie Bush. So in the last 20 years, only 3 running backs have ever won the Heisman Trophy.
And they won't win another one.
I apologize if I'm not ready to include Kenneth Walker III after wins against Miami, a 5-6 loss Miami team, a Northwestern team that might lose 6-7 games, a Youngstown State team which is no good in FCS. I apologize if I'm not ready to include
way to bring down Youngstown State.
All this crazy Spartan fan talk here into a group of Mark Ingram, Reggie Bush, and Derrick Henry III. Do you mind if I reserve the judgment for that? If he will be the 4th running back since 2000 to win the award, do you mind if I just kind of
do your thing, man?
The one thing that Kenneth Walker III does have going for him, I will say, is you look at those backs, Mark Ingram, you look at Reggie Bush, you look at Derrick Henry. What do they all have in common? Their colleges and institutions are located in warm weather places. And Alabama's always controlling the clock with the ground game. And then what Reggie was doing is just on some other stuff. It just was ridiculous. Michigan, he has the advantage over them in this regard. What does the Big Ten tend to do in October, November, and December? Because that's when the championship game is. They run the ball. It gets cold. Look outside that window. What are you looking at? Nobody's throwing in there. It gets cold, it gets dark, it gets wet, it gets rainy. The fields, like people that have natural grass, the field starts to come undone, can't get your footing, they're not running routes. So that actually plays well to Kenneth Walker III at the later months of the season and the later weeks. I don't know. It might be interesting. It's setting up in his favor, I will say that, but they got some tough games coming up.
Who will dethrone Ohio State in the Big Ten? We've got numbers for you. What about the highest graded quarterback in the Big Ten? We're talking college football for a couple of minutes before we jump back into some NFL.
There they all go.
What?
I'm joking.
What a jerk.
I said there they all go.
It's Armania Networks, Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Come back!
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Lady Jane's. I'll do high school next one.
Let's do high school pretty soon after
do it.
Lady Jane's. Guys, let me be honest. We like things simple, okay? I am the most simplistic gentleman on the face of the earth.
I don't know about that.
Football 5 days a week, and we start off football tonight. We got college, we got NFL, great stuff. And Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, we like it simple here too. Walk in, sign in, sit down, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Get to Lady Jane's today or any day, whenever you want. They're open from 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's so wicked awesome. Hey.
Okay, get it then. Get it then. I see you. I see
man,
you.
this is where I live, right here, right? What
Got
is the Kevin
tight
James?
space. Hitch. What was that? Hitch? He said, "This is
One of
this
the
is where you
greatest
live."
lines of all time.
It's a good movie.
It's cinematic movie.
It's a great rom-com.
Fantastic. Let's talk a little college football, Braylon. Saw this yesterday. Pro Football Focus, who will dethrone Ohio State in the Big Ten? And I think a lot of people just counting Ohio State out. Is that what's happening now?
I have a problem with this graphic. So I don't know if they're necessarily counting them out, but for the first time in a long time, they look vulnerable. They look beatable.
Where's MSU?
So I think that's what I was going to say. I have a problem with this graphic. But it's not that they're counting Ohio State out. It's Ohio State looks vulnerable. They look beatable. But looking at this graphic, the first thing that jumps out at me, very first thing, is how the heck is Penn State either not won over Iowa or right under Iowa?
I got a great question for you.
How the heck is it Penn State? They went to,
Absolutely.
first of all, they went to Wisconsin and beat Wisconsin. And Wisconsin's over them.
So here's the deal. Because Iowa doesn't have to play anybody.
I understand that, but I'm still asking in this particular graphic, why isn't Penn State ahead of Michigan and Wisconsin?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Penn State's 5%. Yeah. They went to Wisconsin. They beat Wisconsin at the end of the game in the midst of jump around in the fourth quarter.
Which was one of the most fantastic jump arounds
last
of all time.
weekend. They played Auburn, who's supposed to be a better team in the SEC this year, and Bo Nix. They beat Auburn at home in the whiteout. Now, I love that Michigan's up there. Everybody knows that when Michigan's doing good, the Big Ten and the country's better. So Michigan, I like that they're in the graphic. They don't belong above Penn State right now. They belong either third or fourth to this team. Why isn't Michigan State in that graphic?
I don't know, but because, maybe the betting public isn't ready to put them up there yet. But I will say
consistency, Wisconsin over.
Yeah,
I can buy that.
But just if you look at Iowa, I mean, they almost got a free pass to Indianapolis. So they basically have to win one football game.
A week in Wisconsin.
And they're not very good.
I was good. I was good.
I think they're fine.
Do they ever finish? They don't finish.
But what is finishing if you get to the Big Ten Championship? You got to play Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like they've been there and they had to play Ohio State, much to the chagrin of most teams in the Big Ten in the past 10 years. No pun intended. But I just want to see, where's Michigan State? I think if I was redoing that list, I go Iowa, Penn State, Michigan, Michigan State.
I like the team that has the best quarterback. You asked me which team is going to dethrone Ohio State. I like teams that have great quarterbacks. So far, anyway,
right now, that's Sean Clifford.
Right,
it's Penn State.
Well, there you go. And here we go. This is the Pro Football Focused highest graded quarterbacks in the Big Ten. How about Tua's brother? I don't know how do you say his first name? I don't know how to say it, but he's the Maryland quarterback.
Tagovailoa, that's his last
him. And then Cade McNamara is on this list as well. Maybe we all just got it wrong. Maybe I'll speak for myself. Maybe I got it wrong on Cade too, because he looked like.
This is another one of those faulty type of stats. Put the graph back up there. This is another one of those faulty graphs, and the reason why I say that, if you look at Tua's brother Tagovailoa Jr., we'll call him that. In his 3 games, he's 32 of 43, 350, 1 tud, 22 of 27, 274, 3 tuds, 26 of 36, 332, 3 tuds. He deserves to be on the list. That 92.6 is very impressive when you consider he's thrown the ball almost 90 times. When you look at Cade, it's not hard to be 86.1 when you've thrown the ball 24 times. Stroud and Tagovailoa both have games where they've thrown the ball more than he has in his 3 games combined. So if I'm looking at this and I want this graph to make sense, and I want to percentage-wise make it sense, I keep Tagovailoa on that list. I add Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford is 757 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's at 81.2 in his 2 games so far, or 3 games so far this season. He belongs in there as opposed to Cade McNamara. Now, I like what Cade and Michigan are doing, but he's only thrown the ball. He's only completed 24 passes. So when you look at his 86.1, it's kind of, it's a sneaky, it's not really what it seems, if you will, because he's only thrown the ball 24 times. So be careful. Take it with a grain of salt.
Matt, you got anything on the quarterback?
Like you said, man, Cade has not thrown the ball a ton. Michigan hasn't had to really do anything yet.
Right.
Let's hold off on him. And, I'm still in the J.P. McCarthy J.P. McCarthy, J.J. McCarthy camp here.
Go ahead, Alex.
Just wanted to let you guys know the leader in the Big Ten for passer rating is MSU quarterback Peyton Thorne.
And as another guy,
tweet.
I really like that kid. Last week.
His passer rating is higher than Tagovailoa?
It's Peyton Thorne is at 180, and then behind him is Tagovailoa at 173.
Gotcha.
Man, there is, just looking at the college football schedule this week, there is really nothing, man. Yeah. I mean, you got Notre Dame, Wisconsin at Soldier Field.
That's great.
That's a good game.
I'm saying.
But to your point,
and then Texas A&M and Arkansas.
I like MSU, Nebraska.
Other than that, that is it.
You don't like MSU, Nebraska?
I'm saying it's fine, but I'm talking about 2 ranked teams playing each other after the week that we just had.
Right.
Auburn, Penn State,
I think we've been spoiled because of how the season started
Alabama,
off.
Florida.
Even the first game, even that Minnesota and Ohio State game,
was great.
The very first was great. So I think we've been spoiled. And these games are starting to happen. But what you've seen is a lot of teams be better than we thought they would be. You've seen a lot of good teams around the country in college football. So I think you're not going to have many weeks like this. In fact, this could be the only week that we see a dull schedule, to your point.
Final point about Penn State for me, and it's really more about Auburn than it is Penn State. Auburn played a road game in the Big Ten last week for the first time since 1931, and they lost. We talk about this SEC dominance so much. Why don't you come north and play? Why don't you come north and play at Michigan, in East Lansing, at Ohio State? I know Oregon just won at Ohio State, but at least they played the game. Go play at Madison, Wisconsin, and see how you fare. An Arkansas team, or look, Alabama is the cream of the crop. Obviously. Yeah. But why doesn't Florida come play at Wisconsin? Why doesn't Georgia come up and play in Ann Arbor?
Yeah, they always do that thing where it's
this is 1931, Braylon.
They always do that thing where it's like, we have to play Michigan this year.
Let's go do it in Dallas.
Let's go do it in Dallas. Yeah. Exactly what I was going to say. 1, where it's closer to our fan base. 2, it's still hot, and we can generate and make it more money. I agree with you. Old school college football, put them on the schedule, you bring them to the stadium. Yeah, it's just like when USC had to go in 1960, when USC had to go to Alabama and Tuscaloosa. That wasn't a comfortable game for USC, but they went out there and they beat the brakes off of Alabama and show how good they really are. If you want to show how good you really are, Florida, LSU, Alabama, etc., come up to East Lansing, come up to Ann Arbor, come to Happy Valley like Auburn did and get smoked.
Why don't we, let's wait for the alliance. Once that alliance hits, we'll see those kind of games. And maybe the SEC will say, all right, we'll come crossover by you. You come crossover by us. It's going to become one big pot of love stew soon.
Yeah, that's
4
be
conferences.
Dangerous.
It's going to be great soon. Hang in there. The games are coming.
That's going to be dangerous because then teams like Michigan will have to play in the Eastern Division of the Big Ten, and then they'll have games like Oregon, LSU, and Notre Dame on the schedule. That's a hellified schedule. I don't know if I want that.
I love that word, hellified.
I don't even know if hellified is in the dictionary.
Well, it is now,
I just know my uncle used to say it when I was younger.
I love that.
Hellified is in my dictionary.
I'm going to start using that. I want to steal it. I want to steal that word. Guys, we'll jump back into the NFL next. Do some pro football talk, power rankings. I want to see, Braylon, if you agree with these. Also, which 0-2 team is going to make the playoffs?
I know my pick.
I know mine as well.
I got it circled right here.
I got mine circled too. We'll do it next. Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom Team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/Chopper Shop.
Hey, guys, you know by now, Levels in Centerline is open. You know, Big D Energy was there just last Friday. So start right now. Get 10% off your order by just mentioning us, Woodward Sports. Whether you're in the store or on the app, make sure you mention Woodward Sports for your 10% off. Everything from T Grizzlies gas to D-Max Special Strain and edibles, all on sale now. Download the Enjoy Levels app now and start saving.
All right, gang, here we go. Want to get back into some NFL talk right now, and there's always an 0-2 team seemingly that makes the playoffs. So let's throw it up right now. Here are the 0-2 football teams right now, and there's only 7 teams, to be honest with you. I feel like there's usually more than that, but you got the Falcons, the Giants, the Lions, the Vikings, the Colts, the Jets, and the Jaguars. Braylon, I'll come to you first.
I appreciate that.
Which 0-2 team will make the playoffs?
So when I'm looking at this list, I see a bunch of teams that are not going to make the playoffs. Only one team on this list, and it's not who you guys think. I know who you're thinking.
I know who you're picking.
And I know you know who I'm picking because I'm high on them. We just talked about Michigan State. I'm going with Minnesota.
Yep.
Minnesota realistically could be 2-0. They should be 1-1 for sure with the missed extra point, missed field goal down there in Arizona by their kicker. Man, have they had kicking woes. Their defense isn't as strong as it used to be. They just got Everson Griffin back, so I hope that helps them on the defensive side. But they're in their offense. You look at what Cousins has done in the first 2 games. Like Cousins has been over 300 in the first game, 330. I want to say second game 290. Dalvin Cook 162 yards rushing last game. They haven't gotten Justin Jefferson involved thus far. Thielen last game had 100 yards plus. So I like Minnesota as a team, and they're in the division. We talk about the NFC North. It's up for grabs. The NFC North is a division that's up for grabs. They can steal some wins, and they can win that division. So I like Minnesota being the ONT team that will go to the playoffs. I know you like the Colts. I just don't like the quarterback position, the injuries to Wentz. I don't think there's something about their offense they're just not hitting. Their defense is good, but injuries in that quarterback position is going to keep them out of playoffs, and we don't even have to talk about the rest of those teams.
I don't think there's a team on the list going to the playoffs. That's what I circled.
No Minnesota?
I don't think Minnesota. I do think Green Bay wins the division by default. I think Green Bay wins the division.
Let me ask you this question: Is what you've seen out of Minnesota? Are they better than the Lions?
Oh God, yeah.
Well, you see how much you said, oh God, yeah. Look what the Lions did to Green Bay in Lambeau, in the first half of the game against the Green Bay Packers.
Let's put it like this: if there was a team that made the playoffs, it would be Minnesota. I just don't think they're ultimately going to get it done. Maybe Aaron Rodgers and the Packers kind of turn it on here. Maybe as the year goes on, because they are going all in. I'm not super confident about that. Would it shock me if Minnesota won the division? No, but I think the NFC North only gets one team in.
Gotcha. I agree.
So,
I agree.
And I think the Colts. Look, I don't root for anybody to get hurt, Maz. I really don't. But the fact that Carson Wentz, and I talked about this yesterday a little bit. The fact that he has not one, but 2 sprained ankles is the most Carson Wentz thing of all time.
Yeah.
He's just not available ever.
And the bad thing about that play is as much as I don't even know how to say this without it coming out the wrong way. As much as you wanted to look at the play and make it be his fault. Say, that's something that Carson, it was completely not his fault. He got rolled up in a pile, and it was a nasty roll-up. And you just can't help it. Sometimes certain guys, they just get injured. And it's not necessarily that you're injury-prone. They're just in positions, and they're just in plays that get them injured time after time after time again. So I hope his ankles are okay, but I agree with you. Outside of Minnesota, who is a dark horse, I just don't like any team on that list.
I think Frank Reich gets the Colts right. They went to the AFC Championship game last year. They're the same team, except they don't have Phil Rivers. So last year we said Phil Rivers can't throw the ball 40 yards anymore. They're not done. There's guys out there that they could get. And I'm not counting Cam Newton out of coming back somewhere. And I wouldn't bet against the Colts grabbing him if Carson Wentz can't go. I like the Colts to still make the playoffs out of that division. I do.
Well, if
Chiefs Bills last year.
But Yeah, Chiefs-Bills last year in the
last
AFC
year.
Championship game.
Divisional playoffs.
Divisional playoff.
Okay.
But Braylon, you so for Maz to say that Indianapolis may come out of that division, you're not a fan of Tennessee. You think something's missing from Tennessee this year. That would be the only team in that division that would really
They don't impress me.
contend, right?
With Tennessee, they got it right in week 2. Like, what did we talk about after week 1? What did we talk about before the season even started? We talked about the fact that Tennessee tends to wait until the colder months, the Octobers, the Novembers, Decembers, January, especially November, December, January, to get Derrick Henry going. He only had 57 yards at the end of the first week. Week 2, he had 197. So I'm telling you, like, getting him the ball will satisfy a lot of things. You get him the ball behind that offensive line. Taylor Lewan might be out this week, but get him the ball. Now you can open it up. But there's something confusing. You bring Julio Jones in, hasn't had any success. Vrabel calls him out at the end of week 1, and then Ryan Tannehill hasn't really shown. I know you guys aren't high on him anyway. So something about Tennessee isn't right. But once again, when you got a guy that can run for 2,000 yards, you can fix some things very quickly.
Again, that's a division that's only going to get one in, probably, right? I mean, the AFC South, you're in a 2-team division, basically, with the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. The other 2 teams in that division really should be 4 wins. You know, I mean, Houston and Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about 4 wins for each team.
That's the worst division in football. I know you think it's the NFC East, and it's not even close.
No, I don't think it's the NFC East. I'm just tired of the NFC East on my TV all the time because I just do think there are better games and better matchups than seeing the NFC East teams play each other every nationally televised game.
It will balance itself out because if you look at, as we talk about the NFC and AFC West, they're going to get 4. They could potentially get 4 teams in both of those divisions. So it will even and balance itself out because there's a couple divisions they're looking at one spot.
Yeah, I mean, the AFC North will get a couple of teams in, and the AFC West will probably get a couple of teams in. Lots to discuss.
The West divisions are the best too in the football.
Without question.
Without question.
The AFC West: Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs,
Chargers.
and Chargers, and then the NFC. You're talking 49ers, Seahawks, Cardinals, and Rams.
And the crazy thing about that division, we don't know who the best team in the NFC West is because it was easy to say in the beginning. It's like, okay, well, you got the Rams,
probably.
and you see what they have Darnold and Jalen, and now you see Matt Stafford. But then you go down to Arizona, it's like you see what Kyler Murray is doing, DeAndre Hopkins, and then you look at the other team in the NFC West, not the Rams, the Cardinals, not Seattle. Who am I missing? The 49ers.
Yeah.
49ers very well could be the best team in that division. Very, very, very good division.
They absolutely could be.
Yeah.
Guys, let's stick with the NFL, talking quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs. Let's look through 2 weeks. Who are the best among those groups? We'll do that next. Jermani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, bottom line.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Opa! Introducing Papa Romano's new Greek pizza, a tasty blend of bold Greek flavors and Mediterranean toppings, including feta cheese and Greek dressing. Get a large Greek pizza for a limited time for $16.99. Order now at paparomanos.com.
Hey gang, want to let you know about Guardian Alarm. They get it. A good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has the state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide. It'll even let you lock and unlock doors. Call 800 Stay Out!
Stay out!
Stay out!
Today, that's 800 Stay Out!
Stay out!
Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years in keeping families safe. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. So here's the top 5 passing leaders in the National Football League right now through 2 weeks. You see Derek Carr there at the top. We talked about that, earlier in the week. Derek Carr, Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and, the guy just continues to do it, Tom Brady. Let me give you the wide receivers now. Well, this is the rushing leaders. I apologize. Derrick Henry at the top as well. Joe Mixon with a nice comeback so far. Lamar Jackson, quarterback. 2 weeks, right? Quarterback. Lamar Jackson probably.
And another 100 on there.
I was going to say. I mean,
number one at the end of this
he
week.
absolutely will go over 100, right?
He'll go over 1,000.
Yeah. And then the wide receivers through 2 weeks. Deebo Samuel, who did he go up against in week 1?
180 yards the first week.
Oh, my gosh.
Against poor
Tyler Lockett, man. My goodness.
Wow.
This guy just.
The most underrated player in the National Football League. He does nothing but ball year in and year out and does not get the respect he deserves because he's a little guy playing way out west.
Why? You just answered the question.
Yep.
I was just going to say, what? Tyler Lockett is a really good wide receiver.
He's got Metcalf on the other side. That's what you're talking about.
Route runner.
He was good before that, though. He made the Pro Bowl before Metcalf got drafted.
He's got speed. He can beat you, on precision routes.
Right.
He can beat you with his quickness.
You know what it is?
Doesn't drop the ball.
Plays for a team way in the West. They don't get a lot of promotion. I mean, they talk about Russell Wilson, but they don't talk about the Seattle Seahawks a lot. They talk about Russell Wilson. He's a little guy, doesn't talk much. He's a man of God. He's very spiritual. He makes great catches, great throws. He's fast, but he doesn't do anything over the top exciting. So when you mix that cocktail together, it's going to be one that no one's drinking.
All right, this was a big story that came out today. If you go to ESPN.com, it's among their headline stories. Alex Guerrero, no relation to Pedro Guerrero. If remember when OJ had that? Sorry, anytime I hear it.
We've been talking about OJ a lot today.
Guerrero. Anyway, I apologize for that. But Alex Guerrero is the longtime trainer of Tom Brady, and he had talked about Bill Belichick and talked about how Bill Belichick never evolved, treated Tom Brady the same way in year 15 that he did in year 1. Treated him the same way in year 18 as he did in year 5. I mean, so Brady was ready to get out. And when you hear this kind of stuff, I try to put myself in the spot, Braylon, of not the player, of the New England Patriots fan. Right. And I see how it worked out, and I see how it didn't have to go. It didn't seem to me that Tom Brady had to go elsewhere if Bill Belichick would have just evolved, and never did. So what do? I mean, it clearly worked how it was going. But, just goes to show you also why New England Patriots, disciples of Bill Belichick, don't work out. They don't know how to treat the players.
That doesn't work anywhere else.
Great call. Great call.
For Bill Belichick, he has a system that would not work for anyone else, and it would not work anywhere else. Like he was able to get Tom Brady. He scored a win in Tom Brady. He was able to score wins early on. Their first 3 Super Bowls, having those studs that were already there. Richard Seymour, who was a guy they got rid of, who ended up going out to Oakland and still making some Pro Bowls. Willie McGinnis, they had guys. They had a core initial guys, and then they got Brady. So they were able to build something, and he was able to act like that. He was able to treat Brady a certain way, and Brady ran along with it. And then by treating Brady that way, inadvertently, young guys that came to the team or guys that didn't work elsewhere, like Kyle Van Noy, would come to the Patriots and see how Brady was treated and say, well, I can't act a certain way if Brady's being treated like that. So it worked for Bill Belichick. And to be honest, if I was Bill, I wouldn't do it any type of way over. I wouldn't do it over. I mean, look, he's sitting on Mount Rushmore, on top of Mount Rushmore in terms of best coaches of all time in NFL. But that wouldn't work anywhere else. You have to treat your players differently from year to year, especially as they have that level of success for you, as they're there year in and year out for you, as they respect you, as they represent the organization in the right way, as they've had and garnered success. Super Bowl after Super Bowl, Pro Bowl after Pro Bowl, taking less money when you needed to so that you guys can win those Super Bowls. Like, you got to treat a player a certain way. You got to say, hey, this is my guy. I'm going to take care of you in practice, or I'm going to talk to you a little different. It wouldn't work anywhere else, as you should respect the player and give him more and more and more and more room and work and latitude and appreciation later in the career. Wouldn't work anywhere else, but Bill Belichick, I wouldn't do it all over again if I was him.
Hey, you get the word on the street with wide receivers. You guys all talk. Could you have played for Bill Belichick? How did he treat his wide receivers? Because let's face it,
great question.
There's never been a superstar wide receiver, take Randy Moss out of there because he was put there later.
But that's on purpose. That's on purpose that he doesn't have superstar wide receivers. Superstar wide receivers have the diva personality, or the what do you call it? The reputation of being the diva, of being the center of attention, of needing the ball, of being loud and yelling. So what he said was, hey, you know what? We got the best quarterback. We got the best defensive scheme. We got best line back in the time. Back in the day, they used to have the best line consistently. We'll just find plugs. Hey, we'll get this guy from Miami who seems to be pretty good in the slot. Oh, by name, his name is Wes Welker, who might be in the NFL Hall of Fame. You know what? Randy Moss needs a third chance. He's not working out in Oakland. We can bring Randy here. I guarantee he wants to play with Tom. You bring Randy there. It's about bringing guys in. When guys get to New England, they were excited to play with Tom, and they were excited to have a second chance or a third chance, and they understood we're going to win. We're going to win championships. We got Tom as the man. I'm going to just shut up and play football. I saw how it worked out here. I saw how it worked. If I would have been traded from Cleveland to the Patriots, I would have shut up and followed suit in line. I would have been so excited to be in the Patriots, to be out of Cleveland, which the same was in New York. I was excited to be out. And I would have known I'm playing with Tom Brady. It's time to hush up and just play ball.
That's the formula, right? I mean, that's their formula. And now, just to accentuate the point, it's why you know why New England Patriots assistant coaches, disciples of Bill Belichick, do not work out anywhere else. I mean, just go ahead and list them out. I am surprised hearing this because you asked Braylon, Maz, if he could play for Bill Belichick. That has to wear on a player, and clearly it wore out on Rob Gronkowski. Just couldn't do it anymore. That's how, hearing this, that's why Rob Gronkowski retired.
I had Mangini. Right? Like, I played for Mangini.
Right.
So, and I saw you talking about disciples. I saw Mangini. I played with him in the offseason, and then OTAs, and then training camp, and then the first 4 games of the season with the Cleveland Browns. It was the same thing. Like, the guy was just tough to play for, hard to be around in practice, didn't know how to talk to players. One-on-one, he's a gem. One-on-one, he's a nice guy. He asks about your family. He's great in the meetings that you have one-on-one. But it's something about commanding a team or talking to a team or trying to coach an actual 61 roster ball club. He just couldn't do it. And I think he's one of the best minds ever. I love when he breaks things down on Fox. He knows his stuff. But as a coach, he just couldn't do it. And it lets you know Bill Belichick is one of a kind.
I'm surprised Tom Brady didn't wear out sooner. What is it within Tom Brady?
He wants to win.
That wanted to keep going and didn't want out either sooner.
They own the AFC East.
Why
go anywhere?
AFC.
Why go anywhere? Just win that division like they did 19 out of 20 years. They had it easy, really.
I couldn't say it any better.
Maybe that's why he stays,
It's
but Gronk obviously just couldn't take it anymore.
It's I guarantee you it came to it. Like, if you're Tom Brady, and it's a wear and tear. Then the way he is, he's mentally, he's dull, he's the same, he treats you the same. Talking about Bill Belichick now. Like, it's taxing on the mind, but however, you do get to go home to Giselle Brady. You know what I'm saying? You are winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl. You are in Tag Heuer commercials. You are in Mercedes-Benz and Audis and commercials. You're very famous. You're having fun off the field. I think it was one of those deals where I'm doing so much off the field and my wife and my family and it's winning, I can put up with it.
Gronk broke the minute they said we're sending you to Detroit.
That was it. I was broke too.
That was done.
That's
it. Guys, just quick side note. You mentioned this in the meeting earlier, but Buffalo Sabres captain Jack Eichel failed a physical. They stripped him of his captaincy.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make that.
How did he fail the physical is the question.
Well, he's got a bad neck.
Okay.
He has a bad neck. He missed almost the whole year last year. The word on the street is obviously he wanted to get out of Buffalo. So they're busting his chops a little bit here. But if he is able to play at the level that he
former
came
number
in,
1 pick.
Yeah, he could be an awesome.
See, I know my hockey.
He could be an awesome Detroit Red Wing. An awesome Detroit Red Wing. I talked to Mac about this a lot, but if we want to talk this, we got to bring Mac in.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm up against a break anyway.
I know. Just wanted to drop it in there.
Bottom line videos of the day, some great ones. Speaking of Tom Brady, something very important in the career of Tom Brady happened today. We'll do that next. Armani and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
You know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 five-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Would you like to win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time?
Then watch as we turn this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
Watch the Call Sam Chopper Shop on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Hey, everybody, it's Maz for BetQL. Who doesn't want to beat up their sports book? Everyone does. Why not get an advantage right now? Download BetQL, the only app you'll ever need to make smart bets. Their best bet computer scans over 350,000 unique bets per year and gives you the best bet recommendation for every game. Week 1, they were 13-2 on their 5-star bets. Their platform's got data and analytics that all you need. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store right now. Download BetQL or go online, try.betql.co/WSN. And when you enter that discount code, WSN, at payment, you'll save 25% off any of their subscriptions. Don't miss out on a chance to beat your sports book this football season with BetQL.
Take him for a ride.
Technical difficulty.
Hey, we were just talking about Tom Brady. Something very influential in the career of Tom Brady happened on this date 20 years ago. Man. It is one of our bottom line videos of the day. Remember Drew Bledsoe?
Ooh.
The 2001 season was barely underway when Drew Bledsoe suffered internal injuries from a brutal hit by Mo Lewis. Just 6 months before his injury, Bledsoe had signed a 10-year, $100 million contract extension with the New England Patriots. Now he was sidelined and forced to watch as his backup, Tom Brady, excelled. When Bledsoe returned to uniform, he found that his backup was now the starter.
To have a guy go watch that, I could watch that all day. I was just glued to it.
Man. NFL film stuff.
We should bring it back.
NFL videos, I can just watch them all.
I guess I didn't realize that Drew Bledsoe signed a 10-year, $100 million contract before that season and played 2 games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because they went to the Super Bowl in '98.
He got Wally pipped.
He went to the Super Bowl in '98.
Everyone who don't know what Wally Pipp is,
Look him up. Google.
Wally Pipp was the first baseman for the Yankees. He took a day off because he had a headache. A guy by the name of Lou Gehrig took over.
And never looked back.
And never looked back. That's what Wally Pipped means. So that's what happened with Brady
for you kids
and Bledsoe.
out there.
There you go. I bring you up to date, Uncle Tommy. I got one for you guys. Maybe 10 years ago, you might want to close your eyes, right? Okay. 10 years ago, Kirk Cousins and Russell Wilson went at it, except they were in college back then.
3-man rush. Cousins on the last play of regulation. Chucks it to the end zone. Caught! Michigan State's caught it on a rebound. Hold on. It is just short of the end zone. Instant replay. We'll take a look at this. The Spartans caught the ricochet. They want the touchdown. Instant replay will have to decide now. Ball was caught by Keith Nickel. Take a look.
Abradaris gets in the air and gets a hand on it. Nickel is right in the front. It comes right into his hands as the ball crossed the plane. Taylor is fighting like crazy to prevent it from breaking the plane.
Boy, it was really close.
The runner did.
So here's
why? How you cut the video?
Wave to me.
It was a touchdown.
We guess. My bad, man. I'm sorry. That's my fault.
It's all right.
I was just going to say it was very interesting watching that play. That's a Hail Mary for the win. And usually when you line up for a Hail Mary, it's 3 wide receivers. You got the outside guy will go to the back of the end zone and wait for the tip. The middle guy will be the jumper. He's the guy that's going to run down there and jump for it. And then the inside guy on the slot, the third guy, he's the guy that's waiting in Keith Nichols' position. So you're waiting for a ricochet and tip. And that's exactly what happened. But when you watch it, no one jumped. Like, no one on Michigan State teams jumped. The only jumpers were Wisconsin and my boy Keith Nickel, who I used to work with, Channel 7, the Sports Cave, came down with the touchdown.
Look at that.
How about that?
All right.
You see how there's the 3 guys? The guy on the outside is supposed to go to the back. Watch in the end zone.
No jump.
Nobody on Michigan State jumped. No one jumped. Cunningham
I
didn't
still
jump.
don't see how the ball got to Nickel.
He turned. It was a ricochet.
Bounced off somebody.
Because his job is to face the end zone and wait for the ricochet. And minus a jump, it happened exactly like it's supposed to. The guy in the middle, if he can't catch it, the guy, you see where the Wisconsin guy is?
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's supposed to be a Michigan State guy jumping, and if he can't catch it, tipping it to Nickel. So they didn't get it all the way right, but Nickel did his job, and that's why they caught the Hail Mary upset.
Incredible.
So guess what? That was 10 years ago. Yeah. This weekend, those 2 quarterbacks play against each other.
Oh, wow.
The Vikings and the Seahawks.
That is incredible.
Isn't that something?
I bet they're going to show that on TV.
You know it. See, we're ahead of the game.
The battle
Kirk
for
Cousins
2 teams
against Russell Wilson.
The great Tom Mazaway.
Let's take you back 21 years ago. Today, let's go back to East Lansing again when a Michigan State and Jeff Smoker.
What's up with all these Michigan State
Haygood.
love?
Hey, it's 21 years ago today.
Sheesh.
Let's play it. The whole video.
Oh,
And here the
yeah.
Irish find themselves with a 1-point lead, and it's 4th and 10, Michigan State. Smoker across the middle, and he's got Haygood on the run. Look out, good. Might take it. Inside the 30. Touchdown, Michigan State.
Senior year.
How about that, huh?
That was my senior year.
21 years, man, to the
That was my
day.
senior year at Michigan.
That was my senior year in high school.
Yeah, look at that.
I was still old.
That was my senior year. It was 2000.
That's great. I'll never forget that we all went to the sign, the Michigan State game with Jeff with a nice name, Smoker.
Yeah.
Jeff Bleep Smoker.
Of course.
You know.
Of course. I got another one for you guys.
He's got the best last name ever. We'll leave it there.
Here's one for you guys. Just
Is
happened.
it another Michigan State highlight from 40 years ago?
It happened this week.
Okay.
On the Pat McAfee show. Aaron
I love
Rodgers
Pat McAfee.
on the Pat McAfee show. Aaron Rodgers loves going on with McAfee. No one tells Aaron Rodgers you can't go on national TV or national radio. He goes on and he talks about how it's the new NFL media. You got to say something to get clicks. Check this out.
How has that changed, though, from when you got in the league till now? Has it changed, and how does it feel different from how the media is or how you guys interact with the media?
It's way different age because I think all these people who are on these shows now believe they're celebrities and they believe that they have this platform to, use it to say whatever the hell they want. And that's how they garner the attention. That's how they get promotions. That's how they get to be on multiple networks. That's how they, get their name out there and get a blue check mark and get to go to the Met Ball and whatever the hell's going on. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the society we're in now. It's when I first got in the league in 2005 and you got in there in 2006. I mean, social media wasn't a thing unless you had a MySpace, and it was all about who was in your top 5 or top 10 if they expanded it, what kind of music you had in the background. And it wasn't about, your social media following, your likes, your, how many views on a page. I think it's different. It's all about how many impressions you can have for things that you say. So what's going to, it's not going to be the relax, we're fine, this is 1 week, it was a dud, we're going to bounce back. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't move the needle for anybody. But you start saying some outlandish things about, what I did in the off season and me wanting to be on Jeopardy and not play ball and all this other, ridiculousness that Tom Fanning, told me was out there, which I really didn't see myself. I just think that's the state of the media that we're in.
How about Tom, by the way? Tom,
bring it back to me because I think that is a very important conversation to have, and I'd like to pick your brain on that.
I have some stuff to say.
Maybe we could do this tomorrow.
There's some truth in there, and there's also some knock it the hell off. So
I got a minute left in the show, so I don't want to get into the conversation now. But I would like to do that tomorrow, just to talk about that because I don't think that's just an NFL problem or a media problem. I think that's a people problem that we can get into as well.
You know who else has a problem? O.J. Simpson. Because O.J. doesn't want to go to L.A. anymore. You know why?
Oh, my God.
You know why O.J. doesn't want to go to L.A. anymore? Why don't you read that?
Oh, my gosh. O.J. Simpson says he avoids Los Angeles because he feels he may be sitting next to whoever did it.
I'm sorry.
That's not right, man. That's how we're getting this good show.
I have nothing after that. I'm done.
Sorry, man.
I'm done. I have nothing to say about.
Look at Maz over here.
Ryan, I don't know if you're new to Maz, but he believes OJ's innocent. So of course he's going to think that's the highlight of his day.
Maz, do you think OJ's innocent?
Cut the show. Cut it off. Cut it. Cut it. No, don't answer that. Cut it.
Maz, I'm going to come swim in your backyard
By the way,
okay?
he did persuade Kennedy Broadwell, who's on the morning show from 8 to 10, to also say that OJ is innocent as well.
That's not hard. If I go talk to her right now, I re-persuade her the other way.
Maz, great show today, buddy.
Thanks, man.
We had a good time.
Can't hit them all, right?
Hey, we had a good time today.
I thought so until the end.
No, even the ending was great.
It was good.
There's people laughing out there.
Okay. That's the way I do it. I figured I laughed. Maybe a couple other people laughed. Yeah.
That's
I didn't mean any harm. I'm sorry.
No, that's who you're harming.
Maz, I love you. Come on.
It's a great show.
Love you too,
Seriously.
man.
Come on.
You guys yelled at me a little today, both of you.
Oh, my God.
It's okay. It's all right,
You
though.
yell all the time.
It's okay. It's all right.
I'm sorry. I turned into Stephen A. Smith before the show started. I apologize.
I got him too, actually.
I left. I got out. I got out while it was hot.
Maz, we love you. Braylon, great stuff today. Tomorrow,
always,
hardcore football. Michigan State, the Lions. We got it all going on, and we'll get into that Aaron Rodgers
Michigan playing?
conversation. Rutgers. Until tomorrow, hey, tell a friend about us. Why not? This is Ermani and Edwards.
Maz, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
all right,
Maz,
Love
too.
you, buddy.
Love you guys.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
If there's one play that sums up the New York Jets, this one has to be it. This Patriot's winning off the edge. This Jets lineman is probably holding. There's a Patriot charging up the middle at Zach with no blocking at all. This Jets dude is being pancaked on the ground. We have these two idiots staring at each other like, yo, what are we doing? I don't know, let's just stand here. We have 78 touching his own lineman. On top of that, we have two receivers with zero separation, and the cherry on top has to be Zach Wilson throwing this pick.